Our Mayor, Dan McQueen, and City Manager, Margie Rose, will be making some comments based on the events of the last 24 hours. We will defer to them for potential questions at the end. Our next update will be at 9 o'clock, and then we will have a subsequent update tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. if necessary. So with that, I'll turn it over to Mayor McQueen.
Thank you. And first, I want to thank everybody for your patience, okay? And let me give you a brief synopsis of what has gone on over the past 24 hours. Can everybody hear me? Well, you need it up? I can't. Oh, this one? Okay. Can everybody hear me? Okay, good. So about 24 hours ago, we discovered that there was a third party that had contaminated or potentially contaminated our water supply. And so we began the process of validation of those very things. Our number one concern was the safety of our public. And so what we have discovered was there were two types of chemicals, and I'm not the chemical expert, so I relied on several people. And one of these chemicals, we didn't know the testing process so that we could discover where it had reached in our water system, okay? And so that's just a little basic foundation. We have been, several of us, Ben Molina, our council rep, Michael Hunter, our council rep, myself, Margie Rose, and our entire water department has been up all night and all into now working these very issues, okay? So that we can get your water turned back on. We are working right now with TCEQ. I had a meeting at 4 o'clock with, we have all of the representation from the governor on down, our congressmen, our senators. Everybody is on board. TCEQ is on board. EPA is on board. And what we were waiting on was the water model so they can look at our flow and see that we don't think this soap-like substance, which is what the curious part was, a soap-like substance, we don't think it was introduced to anybody in our city other than the industrial district, okay? And so, because this is a new soap-like substance, we didn't know the chemical composition, and we didn't know how to test for it. The manufacturer has provided us that information. They've provided it to TC, they've provided it to EPA, and now we're moving forward. And this is why at 8 o'clock, we have another meeting. We're pushing very hard to get our water turned on as soon as we can. And that's basically where we are right now. Because of the inability to describe the chemical, we felt it best to stop the water until we could define it. There were irritants. It created problems internally that we weren't comfortable with, and so we had to ensure safety first. And that's where we are. So we're going to have another press conference at 9, and that'll be after the 8 o'clock, after we've talked with the scientists and everybody that are currently analyzing the data. And we should have a better idea on where we're going. I will let you know at the 4 o'clock meeting, they did not have a time scope. And so we are trying to get this time scope, and we're trying to not convolute to where they want to extend the process of testing for validation. But now we have a test process, and we're moving to get that put forward. Currently, you know, I'm hearing issues about water. We have water deliveries that have occurred. I think Greg updated me. We've got 2 sites now. We've got water out there for the public. We've been working diligently to get water, and we've got a lot of volunteers that are bringing water together, and we have a volunteer coordinator as well. The entire staff has been working very diligently. I apologize. A lot of us have been working in the back. You know, my last conference with you guys was 5 o'clock this morning. 5:30, and then we had to get to work, and I put a lot of burden on our public affairs so that we could get some work done, and I apologize for that. But we had to get some work done because we need to get this water turned on, and that's our our paramount concern right now. Yes.
I would like to know what we are learning from this experience that we will use going forward in the future to prevent this from happening again.
Yeah, we are learning several things. One is the communication about network. Of course, I don't have to tell you guys, this is day 3 for me, okay? So I am learning as fast as I can to get us there. We have a whole checklist. Our entire council, that's one of the reasons we had a session, is to talk about this, capture some of this, so that we can ensure the public safety.
And will you essentially require any chemical that comes into Corpus Christi that is proprietary to be provided to the city, that information up front before it ever gets anywhere near our pipeline, so that we don't have to sign some proprietary documentation saying, we're not gonna steal your recipe, please give it to us so that we can test the water?
I can't answer that. That would be a legal question, and I don't have that
Well, I
answer.
think it's something that we should address going forward.
Clearly agree.
Right.
We'll look at that as we move forward.
Mayor, Manuel Borges.
Let me get back there. I had a question.
Yes, sir. Why the limitation on how many cases of water we can purchase? Yesterday, there wasn't a limitation.
I don't know of any limitations on cases of water. That's a merchant issue that I'm not aware of.
It's not a state or the city.
Nothing that I'm aware of. We have nothing in place that should be limiting that right now. Nothing that I am aware of for purchase. No.
Mayor?
Yes, sir.
Is there a best case, worst case scenario for how long the water usage warning will be in effect?
Best case, at 8 o'clock, they say, let's turn it on. Worst case, extreme testing, we continue, we do flushing. The depth of time of all of that, I don't know. That's why we have been working so hard to push and emphasize that it's Christmas. We don't have Christmas down here in Corpus Christi. Get it turned on. So, yes, sir.
So you said that this problem was sort of first discovered 24 hours ago. Why was there a gap between when you guys first discovered the problem and when you guys issued the do not treat plan?
I don't know of the gap. I know our city staff put out messages. We sent out messages on the phone. Some of that may have, excuse me, one at a time. We sent out all of those. As soon as we knew what was going on, those messages were sent out. There may be some technical issues, and we're going to gather all of those lessons learned and look at that communication model. We talked about that, and that will be coming forward as we move forward.
Mayor, there have been.
Yes, sir.
There have been 4 incidents in the last year and a half, and I think people are wondering whether the city can keep the water safe.
Okay, let me clarify something. This was not a water boil, okay? This was a third party that has been identified, and I believe it's been in the press so far, and we will hold them accountable, but they contaminated our water supply. The city is doing their due diligence, okay? This was a third party, and we're going to make sure that that doesn't happen.
Ever again, because this third party doesn't have to be a refinery, it could be a terrorist.
Well, along those lines,
We are on board.
what can the city do then to prevent this type of contamination from happening again?
We're going to look at that model. We've got the entire water department that's engaged in this. My number one concern right now is the public is safe. We can get the city back operating again. And all of those things are part of the lessons learned that you guys are asking for. And we have those captured right now, and we're moving forward with that.
Mr. Valero, do you or the city know?
Slow down, guys, one at a time.
Do you or the city know whether or not there was actually a backflow preventer in place?
I don't know any of this at this point in time, and we'll look into that.
Did Valero or Ergon fail in any of their protection or the steps they should have taken?
Yeah, those technical aspects I haven't been engaged with. I know our water department has. Like I said, our number one barrier right now had been that we hadn't been able to identify the one chemical, and so we hadn't been able to test whether it's in the water system or not. So as we move this forward, we're going to be able to determine whether it's even in our water system.
How many tests have come in and how many are still outstanding?
I don't know. TCEQ is managing that. We're trying to allow them the time to catch up and not put too much pressure on them so that they can get due diligence and ensure that we're safe. Yes, sir.
Among the things that you've learned as a result of this,
Say it again.
among the things that you have learned among this particular episode, what rules or regulations have you discovered that are not in place that permitted this to occur?
Yeah, I don't have that yet. There are investigations ongoing right now. And as soon as we get that information and it becomes, public information, we're certainly going to release that. But I don't have that information. And I thought it imperative to all of you that you know what we've been looking through, the whole process of what I've been looking through, so that we can get the water back
Do
on.
we have a final estimate on how much of this stuff might have gotten into the water?
I'm going to tell you, we're talking about a soap-like substance, and there was only 24 gallons that they used to make their solution. So as far as an estimate, as far as a time period, it gets kind of technical, but to me, it doesn't look like very much at all.
So up to 24 gallons might have gotten in the water, but you don't think it went outside the industrial district? Is basically
That's
it?
exactly what I think.
Okay.
Yeah, that's exactly what I think. Yes, sir, one more time.
Well, I mean, it's a follow-up to my question. I mean, you've got legal advice for the city, and clearly something happened here that shouldn't have happened, and clearly you have rules and regulations that are overseen by the city in various areas that probably were not followed, and I'm sure has to be part of your discussion.
Well, and I certainly entertain the question, but I'm going to tell you again, without the full investigation, there's no way I can speculate on exactly what rules or violations, if any, had occurred. So that investigation has to occur. Okay? Yes, ma'am.
I'm just wondering if there have been any changes in policies or rules or procedures that are associated with the industries.
No, we haven't had any policy discussions. We haven't made any policy decisions right now.
I mean, like the last 18 months?
Well, I don't know. Yeah, that I couldn't tell you as far as that goes. I'm not aware of anything. Yes, sir.
What is the city doing to make sure that the hospitals, the people who are sick, the elderly, the school children are going to be taken care of with this crisis?
We're providing opportunity for the water so that they can be taken care of. And we're doing that as, hold it, one at a time. And that's what we're working forward in, trying to get that water down here.
What about people that don't have transportation? How are you going to help them?
We're working that as well. We have volunteer networks and we have volunteer coordinators that are working. I don't have that schedule.
How long is this gonna long last? How many days? Months, weeks?
As the question had already been addressed, we don't have that clear timeline. I'm optimistic that by 8 o'clock we'll have an update. 9 o'clock I'll give you another press release on that information.
Sir,
Yes, sir.
according to the HEBs and the Walmarts, they're getting shipments every 3 to 5 hours. Is there something the city can do to make sure that they allow people to buy, at least a bigger limit in 2 cases of water per person?
Yeah, I don't know, but I'll talk about that when we're done here. I don't know what we can do about merchants, selling and controlling their sales right now. That would be a legal question I don't have for you. And what was your question again, sir? I'm sorry.
I wanted to know who has the final say tomorrow morning in that meeting. Is it EPA?
No, tonight. 8 o'clock tonight, TCEQ. 9 o'clock tonight, in another 2 hours, we're going to have another press conference, okay? And then we'll move into what our schedule is tomorrow. Right now, I'm optimistically hoping that at 8 o'clock, they're going to give me more information and give our team more information, and we're going to be able to get this better on track.
Have you received any assistance from the county and Lloyd Hill as the emergency response coordinator for the county? Are they helping out the city at all?
This is a collaborative effort. All of us are working together right now. Yes, sir.
Do you think the city needs to consider any sort of water bill credit in all of this?
This I haven't even given thought. Right now, I'm trying to get the water turned back on as far as the financing of the water right now and this overall cost. I will tell you this. We are looking at this as a through cost to the third-party entity, okay?
Okay, if someone gets sick, let's say my parents, my grandparents, is the bill gonna come to me, or is that gonna be to the party responsible for that?
Well, it depends on what you're sick with, because like I'm trying to tell you right now,
If
let me be clear. In the study of the model that we're looking at, I don't think that that would even be possible.
You can have the
Okay.
test.
But, excuse me. Okay, so what I'm saying is, we haven't confirmed that this product is even in the flow system. And so,
We haven't confirmed that it's not either. Right? I've tried to ask, I've had my hand up, you keep ignoring me. You haven't confirmed that it's not. He's concerned, what if it is? What if we've all been exposed? People on our naval base have been
let me-
have been receiving irritants after showering. Check the hospital records.
okay, let me clarify. Let me clarify.
Please do. That's what we're here for.
That's what I just told you a minute ago. We just discovered, they just came up with a test for that specific
How-
element.
Right, because we had to promise them we wouldn't steal their rights to it, which is crap, because
Okay.
it's all about money.
All right.
But what I wanna know is, what time was
Okay.
that test created?
All right.
Because you seem to allude to, at 8 o'clock, you're gonna know that it's all fine when you turn the water back on.
No, I didn't allude to that. I'm optimistic that we'll have more information at
You
8
know
o'clock.
more than we do.
Okay, no, I don't. 8 o'clock, we'll know more. And 9 o'clock, we'll have another press conference. Okay? That's all for now.
Do you have a list of testing locations where you're taking the water?
No,